Trumna was already a very interesting weapon even before the galvanized mods were a thing. But today we're taking a look on an updated build and also some synergies, so let's go. Right, I'm gonna explain my updated build as best as I can. Galvanized chamber, no brainer, just okay. Very much mandatory. Heavy caliber is a personal preference, and this is probably the only personal preference in this build. Point strike for the critical chance, vital sense for the crit damage. Hunter munitions is a must, pretty much. Viral with toxin combined with cold for the viral. Gonna be increasing the damage of our bleeds, that being from hunter munitions. Prime Bane of Corrupted, because this is the faction I'm going against. For the Exodus, it would be better, probably Vigilante Supplies for that slight chance of upgrading a critical chance. As for the Arcane, that I actually prefer either the Merciless or Dexterity, because getting kills with a headshot with this weapon is a pain. So let's take a look on what the weapon can do with the updated build. Let's kind of get close. Beginning is gonna take a little bit of time, but as it ramps up the galvanized chamber, enemies will start to melt very quick. 4 stacks, already got the weapon ready. That is already very easy. You just lock them up and use the secondary fire to just melt the rest of the enemies. Yeah, it can handle itself pretty well. I wouldn't say like a crazy amount of damage. I mean, the secondary fire is, but the primary don't, so yeah. It's pretty decent. But now let's take a look on the synergies. The first synergy goes to Saturn with Toxic Lash. We're gonna be adding that extra toxin damage to our weapon, and this will actually cause something quite unique. We're gonna be getting our charges back when we kill our enemies with a secondary fire. That happens much often, or it's much easier to trigger with the Corpus. I have no idea why, but it can happen with the Corrupted and the Grenier. There we go. Charges are just back. You can spawn them again. Use your secondary fire. Boom. All dead, or most of them. But the chargers are back, and that's good stuff. This is really good, but hard to tell how it's working. I would say that the game isn't actually understanding what's going on as they're getting deleted, and it's just registering the kills as weapon kills and not distinguishing if it is primary or secondary fire. I like to use Contagion Clouds just to fight the Corpus, as I think it adds that extra damage is always good, so I like to use it. I should keep killing stuff, and the mission is gonna be leaving that damage there, and if you're fighting Corpus, it's gonna be melting them slowly. And there's actually something going with, this surprise build is just, you can go with, you pretty much want as much AoE as you can, either from electricity or blast, or you can turn the blast into gas and keep the electricity, because you have to deal with the innate heat from the weapon. And it's gonna be pretty similar, but it's easier to make it work with non-Corpus targets if you use this kind of build. So you just work like this. Yeah, there we got a proc. As I said before, it's kind of hard to get them. Sometimes you just get it so easy I can't even explain. But using electricity makes it really crazy. It might be harder to kill the heavily armored enemies, but yeah. Electricity is insane. Again, this has a lot of room for improvement. It's kind of hard to make it work, but it does work. Okay, so the second synergy goes to Zaku with Zato's Whisper. Just activate it, start shooting, get your kills up, and ta-da! Ready again. And this is the Virant hit build. Nothing really crazy. Here, I think it's more the collateral damage, other than being the damage like from the procs. I think that triggering the bullet attractor, which is the void proc, actually helps a lot. And on previous tests, it was much easier to trigger them with the using electricity and gas, or electricity and blast. But again, it's a gimmicky synergy, so it's kind of hard to sell. Yeah, you can see this time we got fewer procs. Maybe we just need to one-shot stuff. Starting to think that's the deal. Yeah. But it's much more consistent than the Seri method. Third synergy might not be a surprise for you. It was actually kind of for me, because I found about the beta core stuff before it went to the wiki, but then I went looking for Trumna on the wiki, and I actually found about this with Zephyr, which is the same thing about beta core. If you use the secondary fire, it's gonna count pretty much as weapon kill, and it will delete anything and will give you the charges back. So makes a Trumna another freaking insane weapon to use with Zephyr and her tornado ability. Yeah, those were the main synergies I found with this weapon. You can also go crazy with Mirage and just have a ton of secondary fire going on, which is just crazy. You're able to deal some freaking insane amounts of damage. Just very, very crazy. Yeah. Last but probably not least, you can also pull out some stuff with Ivara. You can use the secondary fire with Navigator, and it's gonna be very interesting. All right, let's go. Wait until we get full power, which is gonna be around, I think maybe 6.7 times or even higher. Yep, higher. Oh yeah, 9.3, much more. Let's take a look. First bounce, a lot of enemies dead. Second bounce, and that's it. Pretty deadly. Subscribe.